Hello everybody, ciao a tutti and welcome to Art with Ms.B. Today I'm very excited because I'm about to test with you all a brand new box of 72 coloring pencil by the brand WOOMER, which is a new brand. In the description box you will find all the information and also a discount code in case you would like to purchase this pencil after I review them for you and after I guide you in a beautiful tutorial. This tutorial will support your drawing skill because in fact we are going to draw together, reviewing a little bit about like the lines, value, the use of space, and then of course we will jump into coloring with coloring pencils. Because now of course you don't have the same pencil that I do have by WOOMER, I suggest you to use any coloring pencils that you have available. If you do have crayons, you can also do this activity with that, or you can just enjoy the video and the tutorial. I'm going to specifically talk about color saturation, color vibrancy, blending quality and the softness of the pencil. I will use this term as much as possible and I will explain you also the pressure that I use with my hands, if I have to use a soft, a medium or hard pressure to reach a level of saturation. It is a beautiful opportunity to review the concept of colors, color palette, value, and testing these pencils, so I will let you know what I think about them. My review is going to be totally honest, as I did the same for the markers that I use and everything else that I propose to you. I'm just always look for good supplies with affordable prices that can truly enhance and support our creative process. For this practice, you just need a white piece of paper or your drawing journal, a pencil for drawing, and a razor just in case. And then, as I say, for now, any coloring pencil that you have available, but hopefully, if we like these pencils together, you will be able to get a very good discount using the code in the description box. I'm going to switch the camera so we can start. Okay, friends, this is my drawing journal and we're gonna do a composition that is not too big or too complex so we can spend more time and focus on the coloring. Let's start by drawing a poppy flower, so it's a beautiful opportunity for you to learn how to draw an effective poppy flowers, okay? We're gonna start it from the stem. Pretend that you're doing a tiny little cup and then you go down, parallel down. We are going to maybe create already another little branch with two parallel lines, this time a little curve, and then we're gonna do a blossom first. Over here, we're gonna develop the first petal. Let's pretend that we are doing a cup. So you're gonna go up, and then we are going to create some nice movement, right? The poppy has this super thin petals, and so they are like, they have a lot of movement. They don't have to be perfect. On the contrary, the more movement is better. Now we're gonna build the petal in the back, and remember, we don't want it perfect. On the contrary, we want a lot of variety. This is going to be where the center will be, and for now we're gonna do just an oval. You can just divide it with tiny little lines inside. We're gonna, of course, go over with the coloring pencil and we're gonna do the rest of the details inside the poppy. Now let's go around and create more petals for more movement, right? We're gonna have one over here. And we can do like these tiny little lines. They will kind of enhance the three-dimensionality of the flower, make it look a little more realistic, right? We're gonna do the same on the other side, but still different because we don't want the petal to all look the same. Then I will probably do one more over here, not too tall, maybe even a little broken. And one last, probably here, with the double, like so, is folding, and it will give us another opportunity to create some more movement. And maybe one over there. Same, we are going to double it. Gonna do like that. Now on this side, maybe we can put a beautiful leaves. I'm gonna trace the center, the stem inside, and then they're very like, we do very regular lines, right? This is not like a perfect hyper-realistic representation of a poppy flower, but a pretty good one, right? That is not too complex. Everybody can follow through, and then through the coloring we are going to enhance and create a darker value between the petals, and lighter spot plus the texture with lines with a pencil. Then maybe to fulfill like this composition a little more and also give us more opportunity to use different colors, I'm creating some nice illusion of grass. So just really truly scribbles, pretend that you are, I don't know, writing, nothing in particular, some tiny little pebbles, right, that creates a nice movement, opportunity once again to use different colors. And then maybe, because you know my passion for mushroom, we're gonna add the mushroom over here. So this mushroom, we start from the bottom. I'm going to create the top. We want it to be a little more on the realistic type of, so it goes well with our poppy. Now we're gonna start to build the top with a very elongated oval. Once again, not perfect. We don't want it to be too symmetric. I go perfectly symmetric, and then we're gonna go up for the top and a tiny little bit over here. Okay, so in this case I'm going to also do some of the lines inside with the pencil, just because then we will go over, of course, with the coloring pencil, but it's going to help us to create this beautiful texture. Try your best to make this line to look as close as possible, and if you need to move the paper as I'm doing it, right, you do the same. I am very excited actually to test this new brand of coloring pencil. I have been actually researching for good quality of coloring pencils. I feel the coloring pencils sometimes, you know, because they require a little longer time, I'm just doing tiny little dots, and then maybe some of these dots also on the edge of the mushroom to make it look once again a little more realistic and enhance the texture. As I was saying, I'm very excited to test the coloring pencil, because it is true that they take and they require longer time to color, but you can accomplish so many beautiful things, and also such a tremendous exercise for our fine motor skills. And so this is our box. WOOMER is the brand. We're gonna open it up. It's a beautiful like orange package, and I'm going to display both of them in here. I'm going to put them on the side so I can pick them and color. For today, you follow me with whatever you have available, but hopefully you will love this pencil, as I'm sure I will. And let's see, we start. So let's start with a nice red, not too dark for now, because then I want to overlap a dark and light. And this one is the pale vermilion, and with this vermilion I'm gonna start to color my poppy. At the beginning we go for a medium saturation and vibrancy, because we want to be able to work over it, right, to make it darker or lighter. I want to say that it is very, very soft. Let me see if I can. Perfect, better now with the light. Fantastic. Today is very dark outside. Unfortunately, it's very gray, very moody, really wintering. So this design for sure will cheer me up, and hopefully will cheer some of you up. As I was saying, I'm not adding basically any pressure, and I'm doing this tiny circular movement to color, fulfilling the space that I want to color. This is gonna be my foundational color for what concerns the poppy. I might leave some of the details outside of this color, because then I might want to use it differently, or I might want to overlap a color. So we start tiny little strokes. So this was, I suggest you, as I always say to my students, do not go for something like that, because you will tire your hands way faster and you won't be able to stay precisely in the space that you want to stay. You want to be able to, you don't want to be like a color randomly, but you want to be accurate and precise. Okay, so now that I already set the color, I can already decide to go back in some of the area that I know already that I want darker, and you see that the saturation and the vibrancy is increasing. In this moment, I'm using a medium pressure, so not too strong, not too light. So at the beginning, very light pressure, and then you go back on top, not everywhere, but where you want it, and you can add a little extra pressure with your hands. Very soft for now. I'm very pleased by the softness of the pencil. Sometimes some pencils are truly hard, so they are kind of difficult to blend, and also they require a harder pressure, and that tires my hand more and faster. Now I'm already using more pressure and saturation because I want this petal to look already a little darker. They are in the back, so for sure they will see and receive the light in a different way. And now back with a light pressure, so you will see the saturation decrease. And I suggest you that if you're doing this video for yourself with me, right? We use markers many times, we use regular pencil when we do drawing, we did many watercolors, and we will keep doing that, because as we say, the watercolor brings a different type of therapeutic effect. But if you want to build a very good coloring skills and drawing skill, coloring pencil is for sure the way to go, because you can truly, because it's a dry media, you can control it way more, and you can truly be intentional in the choices of colors, in the overlapping, and in the saturation that you want to achieve. That is not the element of surprise that you will have by using watercolor and letting the water do its job, as we always say, but there is this beautiful permanency of the media, right? Something that you go, it's like a truly on the paper, you see it happening little by little in front of you and becoming something, right? Out of few lines with the pencil, we're gonna now build a full images with full colors, right? And that is a very powerful process. They are fantastic also if you're doing this video with your children, and if you would like to give them a beautiful gift, a coloring pencil is the way to go. They will learn so many skills that they will be able to apply also on other techniques and with other media. And they are clean, right? They don't really mess up the house as painting might do and other media might do. They don't, you know, spoil our clothes, tables, surfaces, and it's really nice. So now let's go for a little darker red, and this one is crimson, and let's see, overlapping a little bit first, and when we start to do some nice little lines, also creating these lines with a pencil to increase the texture. Pretend that you're doing all the tiny little lines that we usually do with the drawing pencil. And be intentional in the direction that you're giving to these lines. Go in the direction of the petals. And with this darker color, I'm starting to fulfill the tiny little corner I'm going back to my first thread. I'm going to fill also the spaces that I left initially white. And now I'm going to grab a dark orange, which is this one is actually orange, and I'm going to go over to make them warmer. So we are playing with cold and warm of the same color family. And also to bring a little bit of light, try to light up some of the petals and some of the part of this beautiful poppy that is now coming to life. And finally, I will go with the dark yellow, sunburst yellow, and over just to give the final touch of warmth and light. I love it. I want to say that the pencils are all very soft, which means that when we overlap colors, the overlapping becomes very natural. I'm adding a medium pressure with my hands, so not too hard, not too soft, and I'm very pleased by the warmth that the yellow is bringing to the poppy. Now is the time to go dark. I'm gonna get a black, and I'm going to trace over the center, beautiful and soft, as you can see, the lines, part of the black, and then we are going to create the tiny little stems. You see, I'm just doing like, pretend that you're doing eyelashes. So they're just like, some of them is shorter, some of them is longer, and then we're gonna do a tiny, tiny, tiny little dots on the top. And this is our center. Now I'm going to grab a medium gray, warm gray 3, and I'm going to go with the gray a little bit around the center of these flowers so we can increase the beautiful value, the shadow, right, that would spread from the center all the way out to the petals and create a sense of depth, right, and three-dimensionality. Very, very nice. Let me go back to the green some here that I want to kind of enhance over here. Perfect. Now I'm going to use a green, olive green, let's see, and we're going to start to color our stem. Nice and soft. I'm not adding any pressure in this case because the pencil is so soft that allow me already for a very good saturation without using any pressure with my hands. I'm going to leave a few gaps, so don't worry about it because we are going to do some overlapping here as well. It's beautiful to have the opportunity to create a design that allowed us to test several colors as well as different like overlapping, blending, and experiment with their saturation. So I want to be able to use this pencil as many as possible in this video, so I have a good idea and a good understanding of their quality, and I will be able to share with you. So far, I am very pleased. I feel that the box of 72, and I'm pretty sure that they also do smaller box. In their website, you will be able to find different sizes of box, but I feel that a box with 72 has plenty of colors, and it will give us also the opportunity to make extra color by overlapping some of the secondary and the tertiary together. I like the fact that they are pretty light, so, and they are also, as I say, very, very soft. Now we did the same, set one green, and then we're gonna go with the darker one. This one is, oh my goodness, there is the reflection and I cannot read it. I cannot read the name. It's unbelievable with the light. Okay, Ochre as green. Perfect. And now look what I do. I'm not coloring everywhere. I'm just doing this side a little darker because there is the shadow from the mushroom, from the flower, right? So this side I wanted to do a little darker, creating a beautiful, beautiful value pattern. Just going over, and I will do the same over here. And then on this one, we can start already by doing a follow the shape. Of course, you don't want to contrast and instead to color overall. We're just doing this beautiful, beautiful type of curved line to enhance the texture and the shape. We're gonna do the same for the leaves. First, I will go on top of the vein, the central, and then I will create a few more. Beautiful. Very, very nice and soft. I'm very, very pleased. And then with the same color, I'm going to color not everywhere, but I can decide that maybe in the center, I want the value to be darker and the saturation to be a little more intense. And towards the end, like at the edges, I want it instead a little lighter. And now I will use a very, very, very light lime green, yellow green, and I will go over the edges of the leaves and blend the two greens together. So bringing the dark one that I use and the light one that I'm using right now. I love it. As I say, they are very soft. Look how beautifully the color naturally blend together. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Now let's have some fun with some other green, and maybe for the grass so we can use another one like a deep cobalt green, and we can go over some of our scribbles because they're nothing more than scribble for the grass texture. And I will overlap many so we can see how different colors interact. It's a beautiful practice and it's a beautiful technique that I'm sharing with you that will allow you to create beautiful drawing, more realistic, with more variety, with a beautiful, fulfilling color palette, right? And then also we are going to just set some of the colors on the ground as well. Just lightly. And then we play and we grab another green, a medium green. This one is instead just green. And I'm just going over again with the same type of gesture, the same type of strokes. Remember that we are creating an optical illusion of grass, so an optical illusion of texture, right? An implied texture, as we call it. Not everywhere, but we started to kind of set where we want it lighter or darker. And then I will go back with a very, very light lime green to bring that beautiful light, right? So it looks like the sun is hitting this little poppy and mushrooms, and we have light playing between them and between the leaves. Now let's go with the brown. Maybe we can do some tiny, go back over the little pebbles. If you cannot see them anymore, you just go and randomly add these kind of little oval circular scribbles, and we're gonna use a couple of brown, darker and lighter. And it's something so simple that is not truly defined, but it creates a beautiful optical illusion, right? And it gives us a way better, you know, grass and ground. Now I'm taking a taupe gray, so I'm gonna use some neutral for the bottom of the mushroom, so we also can test the neutral pencil of this box. So far we got the warm colors, we got the cold colors. We're gonna do some more like a warm and cold, and then we tested the neutral as well, so I can give you truly like we can have a very good idea of how this pencil works. And in the case you would like to purchase using the discount available in my description, you know exactly what you're getting, right? Because we have been going through. I'm going just like with strokes in this time, and then from the bottom on top. And then I'm going to use instead a very warm one, light yellow ochre, and I will go first over, and then I will fulfill also the spaces that I left. And in this one instead, I'm going to start directly with the ochre color. Very, very nice and rich. I want to say I'm very pleased. Ochre is a color that I use a lot. I think that it goes very, very well with multiple color and multiple palette. I love it next to the blue. It's like a very goldish color. And look what I'm doing. I'm doing a little darker on the right side, a little more intense. And then I am leaving some part entirely white. We're gonna grab the white, so we're gonna just test it right now and see if by just going over beautifully, create a nice, beautiful blending. We can test it also over here. And it makes, you see, all the color beautifully blending together and be very, very pastel and very satisfied. Let's see what it does over here. Very nice. Yeah. I don't know if you can perceive it from the video, but it's kind of creating this pastel effect, like a veil on top. Very, very nice. Beautiful. It makes a really truly looks super, super, super soft. Okay, on to our mushroom. So for the bottom, let's experiment and let's try some violet and purple, right? So it doesn't have to be realistic. We can do whatever we want. I just want to test as many colors as possible. And this is a light violet. I'm going to use it. You see, I love also the ochre color next to the violet. And now I'm using almost no pressure. So this shows that the pencil are truly, truly, truly rich and truly, truly soft, because I'm not adding any pressure. I'm just coloring. And when I want it a little darker, I will just color more, like a persistently on that spot. And I'm going to do the same on the other side of the mushroom. No pressure at all. And then I will go back here because I want it darker. And probably also like underneath the mushroom hat. Beautiful. And then if you want, you can go and just do a few strokes to enhance the texture that we created at the beginning with the pencil. Very nice. Now let's test something, maybe a burgundy or something a little darker. This one is light red violet. Let's see. Very nice, very important, a royal color, I would say. And I'm going to use it to color the entire hat of the mushroom, like avoiding, of course, to go inside the little spot, the little circles that we traced at the beginning. I'm gonna use like a very short strokes. I'm using a soft pressure, so once again color is very rich, and then maybe sometimes I will just color a little more on the same spot to start to create already some variation, right? By deciding how much to stay in color and how much pressure to use, we are going to already create a beautiful, beautiful pattern, like saturation pattern on our mushroom. So in some area the color will look a little darker, richer, more saturated, and in some other instead it will look a little lighter. We might leave also some spots entirely untouched, because then we can blend them on top with our white pencil. That will bring a little bit of this color in it, but it will definitely show very light. So for example, I will leave this area pretty light in the mushroom, and I would love to leave this area pretty light in the mushroom too, and this one overall pretty light. The light is coming from this side, so we don't want to, we don't want to do is color everything plain, right? Sometimes we do that in some styles of drawing. It is okay to adjust the flat hyper saturated color, but now because I wanted to do something a little more like realistic, although the color palette is not realistic, specifically realistic. Like for example, I wanted to try and test some of the purple family, and this is what I'm doing with the mushroom. So I'm using my drawing as an instrument to test these colors, but I wanted to also review the concept of value and how can we use a coloring pencil to create a beautiful like value pattern, enhance the implied texture of images and things that we color, and also tremendous exercise, right? To understand what saturation means, what vibrancy means, what value, right? To remind us what is value in art and why it is so important. I'm gonna like turn around a little bit so I'm a little more comfortable and you can see better. Being left-handed is also a challenge. And now I have it, right? And I'm going to start to increase a little bit the saturation, increase a little bit this darkness, right? I want it dark over here, no pressure at all. I'm just going again over the area that I already colored before. And super, super light over here. Now, I'm going to, let's see, I want to do maybe an orange. I don't want to leave them white because I want to test another color. They are so cute. I'm just going inside the spot that we left white. In this one, in this case, I'm using a little pressure to make them look, you know, a little more. And then I'm going to color just slightly below them, just to have some little reflection of the color, make it look a little less perfect. I have my white again. I'm going to blend. Nice, you see? It's very, very nice. I'm blending over, insisting in some spots more than on others. Beautiful. Basically soften the texture. It's fantastic. I love it. Medium pressure here. This is what I'm using, so you understand more or less, you know, the best of your ability and my ability to explain how soft and rich these pencils are, which they are truly, because you don't need to struggle or to work super hard to have them all blended together. And it's truly, 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 truly nice. I love it. Now I will use the blue because we didn't test any blue. Let's go for a beautiful, nice blue. This is a light ultramarine, and I'm going to color the sky. I'm using no pressure, very soft, because the space that I have to color is quite a bit. The color is very rich, very soft, beautiful, beautiful. And we're going to use the same technique that we used so far for the petals, for the mushroom, and for the leaves. So I'm using this kind of a circular type of strokes that will allow me, in case I want the sky to look a little darker in some area, just to go over, you know, that part. It's always with a very, very light pressure. I feel like it's a very pleasant experience. I feel very satisfied and very rewarded by these pencils. I feel confident in recommending them to you because they are soft and rich. They come with a beautiful variety of colors. The white help us to blend the color very well, which sometimes doesn't happen if the pencil are too, you know, hard and not soft enough. The white, basically, you won't be able to see any effect. Instead of this one, you will. I'm gonna turn the paper, so I'm gonna feel a little more comfortable and going inside the beautiful, like, irregular edge of our leaves. And I'm going back a little bit more. I wanted to have it a little darker and a little more defined toward these edges. And so I'm just going back with shorter strokes, kind of outlining it, but with a thick outline, okay? And then I will go back to my circular strokes. Also, I have been coloring now for a while, you know, because we have been coloring together for a while, and I still do not have to sharpen the pencil, which is great. It means that they truly last longer and they will last for a very long time. So it's a good investment for sure. I'm using a very, very, very soft pressure because I wanted to make it a little lighter, right? So we have a little more intensity on the bottom and then lighter and less intensity and less saturation on the top. So instead to use the color like this, I put it in a nice diagonal. Here maybe I'm gonna add a little more saturation because the air is more saturated between the mushroom and the poppy. And we are exercises now our endurance and patience, right? Even when we feel that we want to be done, it is important to stay with the process and take care of nice details that will make a difference, right? I'm very pleased about this, you know, the result with this pencil. And as I say, because I always look for supplies that have a very good relationship between quality and price and durability as well, I am very pleased with this product. I will definitely use it in school for my advanced classes of drawing and, you know, high school classes that I teach, because I truly believe that when it's possible and wherever is possible, it is important to expose our students, right, our young artists to good quality, so they will understand the difference, and they will also be able to work with semi-professional or professional supplies. If we teach the kids to take a very good care and be neat and organized, and we give them a good example, they are totally able. Actually, I found that they're usually better in keeping all the supplies neat and clean and organized if they know that the supplies have a very good quality, because they feel so much like rewarded by using them. Because definitely, of course, we can, as I always say, we can create art with the simplest and most affordable supplies, and we can do a fantastic job. But as we come a little more advanced, right, we feel rewarded when we can use the supplies that meet and match our skills and our knowledge, and actually allow us to do more experimentation, like, you know, to keep improving and experimenting and getting better and better. I love to leave like the edges of these not perfect, like a little, you know, clouds. And then I want to try another blue on top, which is a deep sky blue. And very gentle, with no pressure at all, I'm going to go over. Not perfectly or not everywhere. You do you, of course. If you want to go a little more, you will go a little more. And as I say, because you're probably following this tutorial with your own pencil, you might have a little less colors, and it doesn't matter. It was a fantastic opportunity for you to review the technique, drawing technique, use of space, symmetry, asymmetry, and then color value, color saturation, color vibrancy, and that can be done with any type of brand, any type of pencils that you have available. But at the same time, I'm giving you a very detailed review of a product, and in case you would like to buy it, as I said, you will find all the information and discounts in my description box. Beautiful, I love, because it gives us a little more beautiful variation. I truly love it, truly love it. I want to just go back to one green for a second. I want to extend a little bit the grass over here. Makes more sense. Perfect. And a little more, you know, scribble for some texture. And I find a little touch with the white that will beautifully soften and blend these colors together. I love this pretty picture. It's so nice, bucolic, the romantic, and we have been learning so many things together, not only about a product, but WOOMER pencils, but also about drawing skills, you know, and coloring skills. So that is my little romantic coloring pencil piece, and I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that you learn many things in this practice, and I see you soon with another one. Ciao!